On this day in 1987, Goldilocks and the Three Bears had a falling out at Ibrox that ended up in the Sheriff's Court. The match against Rangers at Ibrox on the 17th of October 1987 was as eagerly anticipated as any in that fixture's previous decade. Celtic had been stuttering in recent weeks and had gone out of the UEFA Cup in the first round to Borussia Dortmund, while Rangers trailed by 4 points in the league but were looking forward to a European Cup second round tie against Polish champions Górnik and the Skull Cup final against Aberdeen in the following week. Celtic were handing debuts in the fixture to Mick McCarthy and Frank McAvenny, while Rangers had just splashed out £1.5 million on Richard Gough. The previous meeting had seen Celtic win 1-0 through a Billy Stark goal at Celtic Park in August, while Graham Souness had been sent off for a shocking lunge on Stark, who was playing with only one boot at the time after losing it in another challenge a few seconds before. After the match, Rangers captain for the day, Graham Roberts, refused to shake hands with any of the Celtic players. With this in mind, the Daily Record wrote on the morning of the match, "What football wants most of all is a good and exciting match between the teams with no trouble on or off the pitch." Fat chance. In bright autumn sunshine, Celtic lined up McKnight, Morris, White, Aitken, McCarthy, Grant, Stark, McStay, McAvenny, Walker, Burns, subs, Rogan, Archdeacon. The match started at its usual 100 miles an hour pace, but there was little hint of what was to come in the 17th minute. Frank McAvenny chased a loose ball in the penalty box, coming up close against Chris Woods, who had just picked it up. As the two came into contact, Woods inexplicably barged into the Celtic striker, who reacted by patting him on the back of the head. Woods then grabbed him by the throat before Terry Butcher arrived on the scene, violently pushing McAvenny. Then Graham Roberts weighed in, and he too grabbed McAvenny by the throat. What happened next is unclear from the footage, but it seems either Woods or Roberts then landed a blow on McAvenny, who went to ground holding his face. After order was restored, referee Jim Duncan ordered off Woods and McAvenny, with Roberts taking over in goal for Rangers. Terry Butcher was booked for his part in the incident, but amazingly, Roberts was let off scot-free. It was definitely now advantage Celtic, and they took the lead on 33 minutes, Andy Walker seizing on a long clearance from Mick McCarthy to outstrip Butcher and finish clinically low past Roberts. 2 minutes later, Celtic doubled their lead after some brilliant one-touch passing culminated in Walker playing the ball on to the on-rushing Peter Grant on the edge of the box. Butcher just got to it first, but in trying to lash it out for a corner, succeeded only in lobbing it spectacularly over Roberts and just under the bar. There was much pearl clutching in the media over the next few days when Grant continued his run to the goalposts, then knelt down and blessed himself in front of the jubilant Celtic fans. That should have been the signal for a real drubbing of Rangers, but Celtic came out for the second half looking unsure whether to stick or twist. They did neither, and for the second time that season threw away a 2-goal lead. Before the goals were conceded, Rangers were reduced to 9 men when Terry Butcher was penalised for a challenge on Alan McKnight. As both players got up, Butcher lashed out at the keeper, leaving the referee no option but to send him off on 63 minutes. 2 minutes later, Rangers were back in it when McCoist placed a low shot past McKnight, but Celtic almost made it 3 a few minutes after that when Billy Stark sent a looping header off the crossbar. Celtic seemed set to get away with their indecisiveness until in the final minute, when a low cross into the box from Ian Durrant caused chaos in the defence, and Richard Gough, one of several players lying on the ground, stuck out a foot to prod the ball into the unguarded net. Celtic should have been firing shots at stand-in keeper Roberts from all angles, but he was barely called into action at all, and the most significant thing he did all second half was conduct the sectarian sing-song that followed the equaliser. Amid much hand-wringing and outrage over the next few days, the Procurator Fiscal got involved, and Goldilocks and the Three Bears were brought before Glasgow Sheriff Court on breach of the peace charges. On the 16th of April 1988, Frank McAvenny was found not guilty. Butcher and Woods were found guilty and fined £250 and £500 respectively, while Teflon Man Roberts was found not proven. 30 years later, Frank McAvenny tweeted, "Couldn't even beat us in court that year."